My name is David Manyeki. I'm a market surveillance officer. Currently, I'm based in Mount Kenya region, Nyeri office. I joined KEBS and I was posted as an inspection officer at the port of entry, that is port of Kilindini, and worked there for about 6 months. Then I was posted to Taveta. I worked as an inspector, and I was the officer in charge of that station. I worked for 1.5 years. Then I changed to market surveillance and was posted to Nyeri office. For a typical day, we are guided by a geographical work plan and also a product-based work plan. So depending on the day, we look at the work plan. It guides us on where we're supposed to be for the geographical work plan and which products we're supposed to be monitoring in the market. I'm an engineer. If I walk into a hardware, I'll probably look for steel bars. With this, I'm guided by the standard, so I have to consult the standard first. There are those physical aspects that I would look for. This is now where we first of all carry out the physical inspection. So when in the field, if we get a substandard product, it has implications. Because let's say in this case, rib bars for concrete reinforcement. If they don't meet the requirements of the standard, for example, in this case, strength, they compromise on the safety of the building, of the structure they are going to be used to construct. And if a Kenyan purchases that product and they use it to construct a structure, then they are compromising on their safety. We have a provision in the Standards Act. If it doesn't meet the requirements of the standard and the Standard Act, then we are obligated to take action. This is enforcement action, and we can withdraw the product from the market through Caesar. After Caesar, we do draw samples. We subject the samples to analysis against the respective standard. And with that, now we are able to get a feedback from the laboratories whether the product is complying with the requirements of the standard. But the responsibility we have to ensure that Kenyans are getting quality products that improve their lives, that makes me proud, because it's not a simple task, but all the same, it's a fulfilling task. KEBS is on guard, making sure that whatever you get in the market is of good quality, and we also ask you to work with us. You can launch a complaint through our toll-free number 1545. My name is David Manyeki and I'm proud of KEBS.
Good evening, good afternoon from wherever you're watching us from. Karibu, this is Kenya Bureau of Standards. My name is Dennis and this is Ask KEBS. I'm glad you're joining us today. If you're joining us from Twitter, if you're joining us from, actually it's called X, if you're joining us from YouTube, if you're joining us from Facebook, Karibu Sana. Thank you so much for joining and making time to join this episode. Today is on the 22nd of January, 2025. It's good to have you today, and we are here to bring you this episode of Ask KEBS. Today we're talking about market surveillance. I have a very interesting episode up ahead. We are very excited to be joined by experts who will be sharing about the whole entire process about market surveillance. This is Ask KEBS. Hapa tunauliza maswali. So in case you have any questions, use the hashtag Ask KEBS. Go to our socials wherever you're watching this episode from. Use the hashtag Ask KEBS and ask those questions. Tuko hapa na tuko tayari kujibu hizo maswali. If you remember last time we talked about metrology, we talked about the science of calibration, we went ahead into details about the different fields that Kenya Bureau of Standards is in, and we were so happy that you joined that episode. We also talked about certification systems, quality assurance, we've also talked about inspections. Na maswali pia zimekuwa mzuri. We are happy to see those questions coming. So keep them coming, ask those questions. This is Ask KEBS, and this is Kenya Bureau of Standards. My name is Dennis. So today we are talking about market surveillance. And to help us break us down that whole topic about market surveillance, we are joined by our colleague, our friend and our expert in this conversation of market surveillance. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Who do we have today?
My name is Robin Shake. I'm assistant manager in charge of the mechanical section in the Market Surveillance Directorate.
Market Surveillance Director.
Yes.
What is market surveillance? We need to start from there. Ni nini hiyo?
Very well. Market surveillance are basically the activities that Kenya Bureau of Standards conducts and the measures that the Bureau conducts to ensure that the products that have been placed at the Kenyan market comply with the regulations and comply with the standards that have been put in place in this country.
So you say surveil, so you're out there.
Yes.
So Shake, in your day-to-day then it means you're probably mostly outside, or how does your day-to-day look like?
My day-to-day activity basically revolves around going to the field, inspecting products in the field, and then picking samples at the marketplace.
Yes.
In case there are any issues that we note in the course of inspections,
Yes.
then there are certain activities, certain measures that we put in place to ensure that non-conformity that we've noted
Yes.
has gone down or has been removed from the market. So there are certain measures that we conduct when we encounter these non-compliant goods. Then we pick these samples and bring them to the lab. They get tested. We get results. Send them out back to the owners. And then there are certain other activities that take place, and I'm going to bring them out very shortly.
That is very interesting. So yes, it involves going out into the market, bringing products back into the laboratories for testing.
Yes.
So it's not really a one-man show or a Shake's Ren affair that unaingia pale, you make the decision.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It is a process that starts from doing a lot of activities in the planning phase. You will have to do a lot of analysis on the information that has come into KEBS in terms of complaints, in terms of intelligence that we're receiving,
Yes.
in terms of new products that are getting into the market, emerging trends. So all this information we collect, we analyze it, and then from there we now come up with work plans. Okay, so these work plans are the ones that now will guide us on, number one, which area to go to, which products to be focusing on,
Yes.
so that at the end of the day, we reduce the risk that some of these non-compliant products pose to the public.
So okay, when you talked about you go into the market.
Yes.
So you've walked into an outlet and you have decided today you're checking. Ni nini hiyo inakufanya uingie? Unaenda kuangalia nini, Shake? Because I don't think you would leave the office and say I'm going out in the field.
Yes.
And you were just going to look for, say, barbed wire.
Yes.
What is it you're looking for then in these products, or ni nini hiyo unaenda kutafuta kwa soko?
Okay. I think I'll have to start from the very basics.
Where it begins.
Please so
go
that
ahead.
we go slowly until we get to the end. Okay? So what happens is this, any market surveillance activity is preceded by a planning phase. Okay?
Yes.
And this planning phase will incorporate very many inputs. Okay? One of the things I've pointed out is complaints. We'll analyze complaints. Okay? And these complaints zitatuonyesha ni products gani which we need to focus on based on the number of complaints that we're receiving.
You talk about complaints.
Yes.
So who is complaining?
The consumers.
The Kenyans?
Yes, the Kenyans who are consuming these goods. At times they're not happy with the quality of the goods they're getting. So they complain to Kenya Bureau of Standards.
Okay.
And there are various channels through which these complaints come. They can be in written form. They can be through phone calls. They can even be through our social media pages.
Yes.
So they come to Kenya Bureau of Standards. If they're consumer complaints,
Yes.
then they get channeled to the Market Surveillance Directorate.
Consumer complaints.
Yes, consumer complaints.
So ni Mkenya akicomplain,
Yes.
then that's when now Shake's team and the market surveillance in
Yes.
entirety
Yes.
gets into action.
Gets into action. Yes.
Please carry
so
on.
that is one of the inputs towards the planning phase. Okay, consumer complaints. We also get intelligence coming from maybe informants, people who don't want to. They're not really consumers,
Yes.
but they just want to provide information towards the greater good of the public.
People do that.
Yeah.
So somebody can decide today I've seen something that is not going
Yes,
right,
yes.
and decide I'm not a consumer of the product,
Yes.
but I wish to let Kenya Bureau of Standards know
Yes.
that this exists.
Yes, and we get a number of this information coming from these informants. So and in fact that is one of a very good source of information, because it actually in most cases, it is very pertinent information, insider's information.
Yeah.
For example, if you're talking about a factory setting and you have an insider there giving us information about a particular product, that is insider's information, which, for example, a consumer may not be having because the consumer is standing at the factory gates.
Yes.
Okay. And at times, if, for example, we are talking about a supermarket, okay, the attendants there,
Yes.
they know the insides of the operations.
More than us.
Yes, more than us,
Yes.
or even more the consumers, the people who are buying across the aisles and all these things.
Yes.
So when this information comes to us, we also process it, and then the other channel which we also get the information from is through our own risk assessment activities. Okay.
What do you mean when you say risk assessment? What are you? Why would you be looking? What are you looking for?
One of the things that, as I pointed out in the definition for market surveillance,
Yes, activities that we undertake.
activities and measures that we undertake to ensure that the consumers are getting quality products and safe products. One of the core issues that core reasons that market surveillance exists is to ensure that consumers are safe. Okay, they're consuming safe products. So there's an element of safety and an element of risk assessment that now comes in to treat that safety element. Okay, so we have to do risk assessment on the products which are being consumed out there, and all this information now will now lead us towards preparation of work plans. Okay, so we've done the analysis. We have an idea of what are these products that are causing chaos as far as these consumers are concerned.
Yes.
Then from there, we can now move to the next phase, which is now the preparation of work plans. Okay, and these work plans are in two ways.
Yes.
We have a product-based work plan. Okay, a product-based work plan now looks at the product risks. Okay, it looks at the product risks and identifies which of these products pose the greatest risk to consumers. What are the parameters we are looking for, we are actually concerned with.
Yeah.
Okay, so they will be listed there. And then we will prioritize them. Okay, because based on all, you find out it's a very huge list on the products which we really need to take action immediately to lower that risk to a tolerable level.
Yeah.
Move the risk altogether. Okay, so after we do that risk assessment activity, and we've generated the product-based work plan, then another work plan is also generated called a location-based work plan or a geographical work plan. Yes.
So now
so this geographical work plan, we look at the whole map of Kenya.
Yes.
Okay. This whole map of Kenya has certain regions, very many regions. We can tell that these commodities, for example, if it is this product, I can be able to tell that this product is actually being sold in a certain locality. Okay.
Yeah.
So as I am matching this product risk, I'm also looking at the location risk. Okay, so we have to prepare a location-based work plan so that now we can go and treat this risk at the location where this product is being sold. Okay?
Si kwenda tu.
Si kwenda tu. There are a lot of activities. So every time you see us walking into your outlet, we are not just walking blindly. There is some information which we've processed and has led us to your outlet.
Okay.
Yes.
So now we have come from the product-based point of view.
Yes.
And this is what now is informed a geographical work plan.
Yes. So for instance, I'll give an example of let's say construction products.
Yes.
Construction products, you normally find them in areas where developments are coming up very quickly. Okay, so if I'm doing my prioritization in terms of location-based work plan, I want to go and see what is happening in these areas where constructions are coming up very quickly, because that is where there's a very big likelihood that people will want to start cutting corners because of the margins and all these things.
True.
Yeah.
And also the activities related to that product are predominantly in that area.
Yes.
So that will inform you when you're making a decision of where to actually
go.
Okay. So that's the geographical
work plan. Geographical work plan. So these two work plans now come together.
Yes.
And from there, we now develop teams. Okay, because one of the things that these inspection activities, the underlying framework is competence to do the inspections. okay, the competence to do these inspections. So I have this product.
Yes.
Do I have the requisite competence to actually inspect this product?
Shaki, are you trying to say that it's not everyone who will go into this place and decide leo naangalia barbed wire?
Yes, it is not everyone. Okay, it is not all. I mean, all the inspectors we have in market surveillance,
Yes.
they have specific products which they can look for. They can actually inspect. They can't inspect all the products out there.
Okay.
Yes.
So Mkenya pale nyumbani,
Yes.
Okay, please carry on. Let me not interject before
Yes.
That's interesting.
So these inspectors will now prepare inspection teams. Okay, we call them field inspection teams. These field inspection teams will comprise of inspectors who have the requisite competence to address the products, to inspect the products which they're looking at.
Yes.
Okay, which have been allocated to them, and be able to give us results which we can actually own as an institution.
True.
And which we can actually action. Okay, take action on.
Yeah.
So we come up with these teams. These teams now will be the ones which will go out to the respective locations, respective outlets.
Yeah.
If they have to take a vertical inspections up to the factory level, all these teams will now be properly guided based on the location, work plan, and the targeted products work plan. Okay. That is now we are now at. We've now prepared the work plans. We've prepared teams.
Yes.
Okay.
Who are now experts in the
Who are
field?
now experts in the specific products which have been allocated to them. So these teams will now head out. Okay. One of the things they will do is number one, they'll make sure that they have access to the requisite product standard. They will have to make sure that they have access to the laws, and by the laws, I mean the Standards Act,
Yeah.
because that is our primary law. Okay, they need to have access to the Standards Act. The
Yes.
Standards Act, it keeps changing every now and then.
Yes, yes.
So if you're not very careful, you can be making reference to an obsolete version of the Act. Okay, like right now we have a new version that came out in December
2024.
2024.
So you have to be that
You
aligned.
have to be abreast with the changes that are happening on the legal side.
Wow.
Yeah.
So hiyo ndio mumesha so the officer in the question, when they are going out in the field,
Yes.
fine, they know that they are going to look at, say, barbed wire.
Yes.
But they must know the Standards Act.
They must have the standard, because this market surveillance activity, remember we said the activity is carried out by KEBS.
Yes.
KEBS is a regulatory body. It is a body established by law. Okay, so whatever activities they're going to do there are law enforcement activities. So they must be abreast with the laws that govern market surveillance, the laws that govern how to interact with people.
Yes.
They need to know the rights of the rights of the accused people and all these things.
Yes.
They must inculcate all these things within them as they're going out. Yeah.
That's amazing to hear. So they just don't walk
No,
blindly.
they just don't walk blindly. Yeah.
So now they have arrived. They know the
Yes,
standards
they have
as well.
arrived. Yes, they've arrived. So they've come into an outlet.
Yes.
The first thing they must do
Yes.
is to identify themselves.
Oh, they just don't badge in
No,
and
you
say,
don't barge in
"Umetoka KEBS."
and start inspecting goods like. No. Remember, we're actually operating under a new constitutional dispensation, and it has given people some various rights under the Bill of Rights. Very many rights which have come up. If you compare with the old one,
Yes.
you'll see a marked difference, especially in the Bill of Rights. So every time you walk in, these inspectors get into an outlet, one of the very first things they must do is to identify themselves.
My name is Robin.
My name is Robin. I'm from Kenya Bureau of Standards. I'm a gazetted inspector. And the law is actually very clear at the point of identification.
Yes.
Is that if this person requires you to identify yourself, and you've said you're an inspector,
Yes.
a gazetted inspector,
Yes.
the law requires you to produce an inspector's card.
Not just the KEBS staff badge.
Not just a KEBS staff badge.
Yes.
Not this.
Yes.
The law requires you to produce an inspector's card. That
Yes.
is section 14.2 of the Standards Act. You produce the inspector's card for them to verify that you're actually a gazetted inspector. Then they can also you can also let them know that in case they need to verify, there are various ways of verifying whether I'm the person who's coming claiming to be a market surveillance officer
Yes.
is a genuine officer or not.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So this staff that has walked into
Yes.
an outlet,
Yes.
assuming ameingia kwa duka yangu saa hii,
Yes.
nimemwambia nataka kuona kitambulisho,
Yes.
atanipatia KEBS, pia atanipatia inspector kama ni
Yes.
inspector.
Yes.
I will see.
Yes.
And if I want to verify, I have the right
You
to
have
verify.
the right to verify.
I hope mnasikia hii. So wakati mtu amekuja kwa duka yako amesema ametoka KEBS,
Yes.
you can verify them.
Yes.
And I think even KEBS itself has a way of verifying stuff.
Yes. Yes.
Aha, okay.
Yes.
That's interesting. I think we'll also talk about how to verify
How to
staff
verify.
members.
Yeah.
Yes, so amejiintroduce, amesema mimi ninatoka Kenya Bureau of Standards.
Yes.
Here is my badge.
Yes.
Carry on.
All right. So the outlet owner maybe has made whatever checks they need to make, and then they will allow the inspectors in. Okay. If they don't allow the inspectors in, and the inspectors have reasonable suspicion that there's something fishy going on in there,
Yes.
then they can still go in.
Inspectors
but
do have
within,
a right.
yes, within some limits of decorum. You know, you
Yes.
can't just barge in with a lot of. You just go in,
Yes.
do the inspections, and there are situations where you find a premises is not occupied, or someone has just realized that this is KEBS officers who have come in,
And they vacate.
and they decide to vacate maybe because of the things which they have,
Yes.
and they don't want to be found there. Okay, so we are allowed also by law that in the event that you find premises have been vacated,
Yes.
you still get in. Okay, if you have to force entry,
Yes.
the law actually allows us to force entry. Okay, then we do our inspections.
Yes.
But when we are leaving,
Yes.
we leave the premises as secured as we found them in the previous instance.
Wow.
Okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So the law has its own
Yes.
cure to solution and the solutions to issues.
Yes. Yes.
So an officer cannot just decide I'm bulging into this
Yes.
premises because it's vacated
Yes.
and decide to just leave it anyhow.
Yes.
The law has guidance on how
The
to
law
do
has
that.
guidance, and one of the things which you also need to be very clear
Yes.
is that we as inspectors, if
Yes.
you're going in, we must be guided by some knowledge that there is some products which are covered by Kenya standards in those
that-
premises. What does that mean? You cannot barge into someone's bedroom saying that you're looking for substandard goods.
In somebody's room.
It may be very difficult for you to prove that you had some prior information that
They had that
they
in
had
their
something,
bedroom.
some suspicion that there's some, yeah.
Okay.
So that is how the checks and balances that have been put in law, okay, both to safeguard the other side's rights,
Yes.
and also our rights to enforce the law.
True.
Yeah.
Because both of us need to be operating within the
Yes.
realm of the law.
Yes.
That's amazing. So I hope you're following. I hope mnafuata hii conversation kuelewa zaidi kwamba when Kenya Bureau of Standards is coming to your premises, an officer from the market surveillance saying that they are here to inspect, you have a right to inspect, one, their documentation to confirm they are who they say they are. And they will actually start by identifying themselves.
Yes.
My name is Robin. I work with Market Surveillance Kenya Bureau of Standards. I'm here to do an inspection. Here is my badge. If you need to verify, you can verify. So those are all the rights ambazo wewe kama Mkenya pale nyumbani, ukiwa una interact na maofisa wetu wa Kenya Bureau of Standards, you will notice that they will do all that. And I think also as well, there's ways of verifying stuff. So in case somebody has even walked into your shop and you need to verify who they are, KEBS has even provided an app.
Yes.
Yes, we do have an Android app. So if you go to Play Store right now, download the KEBS app, you can even be able to verify the staff who has walked into that organization.
Yes.
And you can even determine if they are active, if they are on leave.
Yes.
So that mtu asiingie pale akiwa on
And
leave.
they're actually on leave.
Yes.
And they've gone into you know, that already is a flag.
Yeah.
And if you're an outlet owner, you are now within your rights to establish who is this person who is operating when the app is saying is on leave, the
Ako leave.
institution says is on leave, because you're not supposed as an inspector to be working while you're on leave.
True.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes.
It's interesting when you get to sit down with experts in the field so that they tell us what they actually do on a day-to-day. Start from planning. I didn't know that they will even need to look at the geographical aspect, even look at their technical capacity as a team to determine where to even be able to be in those teams, even plan on the risk-based you're talking about.
Yes.
So say for example, and I've seen this as a question.
Yes.
Ni December. I know people really do a lot of partying,
Yeah.
and majority of the products you'll find being consumed at that time are probably alcohol-related products and related aspects. So is this what you're saying, that in December as well, you will also probably be focusing in that direction, Ama? How does that work?
Actually, you're very right, and whoever's raised that question is raised a very pertinent question. During December, there's always that, it's festivities and
Kwanza
people...
ametumia jina sherehe.
Yeah, it's festivities,
Yes.
and there are certain products which will be consumed more than perhaps the way they're consumed in other months.
Yes.
So we always have these plans where we focus on these products around those areas or those periods of time. Okay. For example, we've been having, I think in a number of years in the past, we've been having what we call RRI activities, Rapid Results Initiative activities,
Yes.
which target certain products, like for example, alcohol products, around that particular period of time.
Yes.
Okay, and some of these activities get conducted with our partner, agencies, the NACADAs, the DCI also times we will also step in. So this activity, we do have certain activities around certain times to take care of those emerging challenges.
Yes.
For example, another example I perhaps give is maybe for a product like fertilizer.
Yes.
This product gets consumed during the planting season. Okay, so around the planting season, we are normally very vigilant. Okay, we are very vigilant on these products which are coming in, so that we are able to arrest any issue that arises during the planting season and the consumption period. Yes, yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you have really taken us through to the point where you have arrived at an outlet, determined and been able to introduce yourself. The outlet owner has allowed you as an inspector to access, and now what you find now becomes another process altogether.
Yes. So we've been allowed in.
Yes,
okay?
we are in now.
We are now in the outlets.
Yes.
So we'll conduct our inspections. And I just want to point out that the inspections we conduct are actually based on professional judgment. Okay, inspectors operate on professional judgment, and they get guided by the standards.
Such standards.
Yes, they get guided by the requirements in the standards, and then they will do certain checks. Okay, certain checks based on the parameters in the standards. So we look at 4 key issues when we are doing visual inspections. Okay, because there are 2 inspections, forms of inspections which can be carried out.
Yes.
There will be visual inspections or physical inspections, and then we can do on-site tests. Okay, these are like triage tests for us to be able to make an informed decision, a professional judgment.
Still on site.
Yes, still on site on the quality of that product.
Okay.
Okay, so we will look at labeling as a parameter, as a visual inspection parameter. How is this product labeled? Is it labeled in line with what the standard requires?
Putting a label on the product is not really a manufacturer's problem. Is there a standard that talks about it?
Standards have labeling requirements. Yes. Standards have labeling requirements.
So how it is labeled is one of the issues?
Is one of the issues that we will always check the moment we encounter any product. And why are we concentrating on labeling?
Yes.
It is because it is on the label where you will get, for instance, things like the date of production, the batch, the date of expiry, the brand name, the contacts of the manufacturer, the weight of the product, instructions for use. You know, there are some products which will have some instructions for use. So that is why we are very keen on how this product is labeled in line with the requirements of the standard. Okay,
that's one.
Yes, that is one. The second parameter we will look at is the packaging of the product. Okay, does the way the product is packaged ensure the integrity of the contents inside? Okay, does the way the product is packaged meet the requirements of the standard? Okay, so all these things we will look at, and then we'll make a decision based on what we found out. The other thing we look at is the certification status of that particular product.
What do you mean when you say certification status?
Okay, so certification status, we consider the certification marks that are supposed to be applied on that product, and if they're applied on that product, are they valid? Okay? So by validity, we mean that these products are actually within the validity period of the permits that were issued by the certifying body.
So in this question, like for example, if they're made in Kenya,
Yes.
KEBS is the
So
certifying.
KEBS is a certifying body.
So what you'll be looking at?
What we'll be looking at
Yeah.
is the standardization mark.
The mark that we KEBS
Yes,
issues.
the mark that KEBS issues.
So
Based on that mark, we have provisions, and these provisions are actually public. You can check the validity of any certification mark in Kenya,
Yes.
issued by Kenya Bureau of Standards on our corporate website.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just take the details, put them in our corporate website. We will see whether this mark is actually valid or not valid.
Wow.
Okay,
So there's a way you can do that.
there's a way you can do that.
And can I, as a consumer, do that?
Of course.
So see where to come office.
It is not on the regulatory side. It is public information.
Yes.
It is actually supposed to be used by the public, because even for us with outside, if that provision was not there,
Yes.
internally as inspectors we could be able to get this information.
Yes.
But that provision has been provided for the public.
Mwenye ako nje.
Mwenye ako nje. It is for the public consumption.
Okay.
Yes. So we'll check whether this certification mark is valid or not valid,
Yes.
and then make a decision.
I want you to actually find out. You say that is the third one now, the mark.
That is the third one.
The fourth one, because I want you to focus on the certification of, or checking those marks right after we take a break. But before we take that break, I want you to finish. You say there were four.
There are four.
The
The
fourth
fourth
one?
one is the condition of the product, the product itself. Okay, whatever the consumer consumes.
Yes.
How is it? Is it within the expiry period, or is it expired?
Yes.
If, for example, we are talking about barbed wire, one of the very things that we'll check as an inspector
Yes.
would be the packed roll weight. Packed roll weight. If the roll has been packed,
Yes.
what is its weight? Because the standard has weight categories. Okay, the standard has weight categories.
Yes.
So I will check whether this barbed wire is meeting the weight category of the roll that has been of this particular roll, the particular roll you're looking at. Okay, so if it is 20 kilos, I will see what the standard says within the limits of tolerance applied in the standard.
Yes.
If it's 25 kilos, I will check anything outside those two sizes is an unconformity.
Allah,
Yes,
that's amazing.
that's amazing.
So those are the four.
Those are the four parameters we look at
Yes.
anytime we're out there in the field related to the product.
Labeling, packaging, the
Labeling,
certification
packaging,
mark,
certification marks,
and
condition.
and the condition.
Yes, so that is the triage that the inspector will do
Yeah.
for him to be able to make an informed decision, a professional judgment on the condition of that product
While on site.
while on site.
Wow. So ukiona officer wa KEBS ameingia, ukiona akiangalia products, usijiulize ni nini anaangalia. He's looking for those four things.
For those four things.
This is Ask KEBS. We will be taking a very short break but while we are taking that break, I want us to actually keep those questions coming. Use the hashtag Ask KEBS, ingia kwa platforms zetu, that is on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Ask those questions. The market surveillance process is quite an interesting process.
It is.
And KEBS does so many other processes, not just that.
Yes.
I want to leave you with a very interesting process that we also do here at Kenya Bureau of Standards. So do not go away. Stay tuned. This is Ask KEBS. Let me leave you with our process in the labs.
My name is Susan Aliaka. I work as a PA in the Regional Manager's Office, North Rift Region, and a Customer Care Marketing Representative at North Rift Region. My day, normally, I come to work very early in the morning. I make sure that the office is set up well, ready for the day. And when the regional manager comes in, I make sure that all the incoming correspondences are in his tray. Same time, as I'm doing all this, I have customer care aspect where I handle the visitors that are coming in. There are those who are coming to see the regional manager, and there are those who come with a concern. They need to be assisted, and I always guide them. And in case there is any complaint, I assist the clients or the customers to fill the complaint on the form, then I transfer it on Entropy. also in marketing. Recently we were planting trees, so I was the coordinator at the region, making sure that we have enough trees and have identified the schools where we are going to plant. I joined Kenya Bureau of Standards in 1995 when KEBS was very active in sports, that is netball. I remember when we were being promoted from Super 1 to Super League. I think that was my turning point because we were in Super 1 and we had Super League. We were to be promoted to join the Super League. So it was KEBS playing with Kirdi. The managing director and some of the directors of KEBS came to witness how the team of KEBS is performing and how we are going to play. So when the MD came, Kirdi, managing director, was also there with some official, and KEBS now was in the field playing. Was given a very tall lady from Kirdi, the one that I was marking. She was a shooter and I was a defender. And I managed to get all the balls that they were trying to give her until they changed. Now they were giving to the other lady who was a bit shorter. But now my coach said you can switch because they have realized that this tall one will not get the ball from you, because I was able to go up and get the balls, all the balls that they were being given to her. So when they changed, I switched and I also managed to get the balls, and we thrashed Kirdi with 18 goals, 18 KEBS, and Kirdi was 9 goals. And now the MD said, I've employed you. It is now the team manager and the chairman to look for other players so that they can maybe add the names, but I've taken Masai, and that is how I got the name Masai, and that is how I got to come now to join the KEBS family. I must say that when you are gifted with a talent, you do it with passion, because that talent will take you far. Kenya Bureau of Standards, we don't police, but we support the manufacturers, we support the innovators. And if you have your product and you want to access the market, we advise you to visit us or call us. Kenya Bureau of Standards North Rift region, we are serving 7 counties, and our regional office is in Eldoret, and we have other satellite offices, that is import border points offices at the border. It is Malaba, Lohaha, and Eldoret International Airport, and soon we are going to have Swam border point. I'm proud to be KEBS because KEBS has nurtured me. KEBS gave me the room or the permission to go and further my studies, and also guided me. My name is Susan Aliaka. I'm proudly KEBS.
Only just concentrate on the technical fields. We also have a very deep loving for talent. We appreciate watu wa talanta. That was Susan Naliaka. She's based in our North Rift region office. That is in the Eldoret office. So she will, or she has been telling us about how she got to join Kenya Bureau of Standards. I'm happy. So Stephen Wakaro, thank you so much for watching. Engineer Talam, amesema kudos shake, my main man. I see Charles Miano also is watching. He's saying good work, boss. We try the very best.
Thank you.
Jeffrey is saying nice information. Joseph Nzioki is asking how can he become an inspector at KEBS. So yes, tumerudi na hii conversation. Najua nimeona maswali imeanza kuongezeka.
Okay.
And before that tuendelee, kuna mtu ameuliza what is the difference between you and the police, because you also mentioned DCI somewhere. Are you the police?
No. We are not the police.
Do you arrest?
No, we don't arrest.
What do you do?
We don't arrest. We actually, if you read the Standards Act,
Yes.
we do not have arresting powers. These powers are conferred to the police. The Standards Act, the way it is framed, we don't have those powers. There are other regulatory bodies which have arresting powers, but not Kenya Bureau of Standards at the moment. So in the event that, basically what we do is law enforcement minus the arresting bit. If we have to get to the arresting bit, then that will be done by the police. Yeah.
So that's probably when you're moving around with the multi-agency teams.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Sawa. So I hope umejua hiyo generator itasumbua.
It will take a while, huh?
No, the generator is the worry. So yes, bit of a technical problem there, but we are back. This is Ask KEBS. We are talking about market surveillance. We are joined by Robin Shake. You're from the Market Surveillance Directorate.
Yes.
You've explained to us the entire process. We are now at a point where we understand ni nini hiyo mnaendaga kuangalia kwa products.
Yes.
Umetuambia you have a 4-point visual inspection checklist that you're going to look at. You look at the labeling, the packaging. You will also look at the marks itself, and also ni nini iko hapo ndani. Okay, so now I want us to probably now take it from that point. Umesema wewe si polisi. So you say minus arresting, enforcement minus arresting. So explain that further. How does that work?
One of the things that we do as Kenya Bureau of Standards is regulatory enforcement. Okay.
Yes.
The difference between us and perhaps the police is that number one, the police are given a broad mandate to enforce all the acts in the country. For us, we are focused on the Standards Act. So we can only operate within the confines of the Standards Act. And a close reading of Section 14 of the Standards Act, where we have the powers of the inspector.
Yes.
A close reading, we will see that we do not have what are called constabulary powers. That is powers of arresting and all these things. Yes, these powers, in the event that we have to effect an arrest, then we have to involve the police to do the arresting bit. Yeah, so that is the difference. And for us, we're actually looking at the technical aspects within the products. Okay, the technical aspects within the products, and where the non-conformities, then those will form criminal grounds. Grounds for criminal action. Yes.
And that is where I wanted you to tell us now. These products, the ones that have conformed to your visual checks and everything else you needed to check at that point, I think you're okay with them at that point.
Yes.
But the ones that do not, what do you do to them?
Okay. Various things will happen the moment we find that we have goods which are non-compliant. Okay. The first thing would be to have these goods segregated. Okay, we will notify the outlet operator or the person in charge, apparently in charge of the outlet, that we have established, based on the 4 checks we've done, that these goods are not meeting the requirements of the standard. Okay, and because these standards are actually part and parcel of the Standards Act. Okay, they are listed as under legal notices. So they're actually laws. So the moment these products are non-compliant, they're actually not meeting the law.
By extension, it's actually the law.
It is the law. So they're not meeting the law. So there are certain activities or actions that are supposed to be taken at that particular point. One of the actions that will be can be taken will be a seizure.
A seizure.
Okay.
So what is a seizure?
A seizure
umeanza na segregated. Sasa kuna segregation.
So we have segregated these goods. We have informed the outlet operator that these goods do not meet the requirements of the standard. So that even before you do a seizure, the inspector will do a quick check and ask themselves, do the issues which I've established have an impact on health and safety? Okay? Do they have an impact on health and safety? If they have an impact on health and safety, then the inspector will do a seizure. And a seizure is basically the very first action that is meant to ensure that these goods do not circulate in the market.
Tunaziondoa.
So unaziondoa and unaziondoa in a legal way using something called a seizure form.
A seizure form?
Yes.
So si kubeba tu?
Si kubeba tu.
So there's a form that you will fill?
That the inspectors will fill,
yes,
okay, documenting the details of the outlet, documenting
what they have taken,
or rather the nature of the product,
yes,
the standard that has been contravened,
yes,
what in that standard
yes,
is the contravention. For example, if I'm looking at this and there's an issue on packed weight,
yes,
I'll indicate in the seizure form
yes,
that it is not meeting the relevant standard in the packed weight parameter. Okay. And then I will document the quantities
that you have
seized. The quantities which I have seized based on my findings. Document the quantities, and then from there is a decision that will be made.
Yes.
Okay. This decision, now we are talking about goods which have an impact on health and safety. The decision that will be made will be: do we need to exfiltrate these goods? Do we need to remove these goods from those premises?
Entirely now from
entirely,
the
yes. Can we exfiltrate them in the based on the means that we have?
Yes.
Are we able to remove them from circulation? And this removal is basically to make sure that the criminal-minded people do not have an opportunity to start selling goods which we've established to be having issues.
True.
Yes. So those 4 checks which I talked about.
Yes.
Lead to something we call reasonable cause to believe.
Okay? Reasonable
cause to believe. Okay? This reasonable cause to believe, we are saying it is reasonable cause to believe because if you look at the Standards Act, the final authority that the goods have failed is a test report, and that is what is admissible in court under Section 16 of the Standards Act.
A test report, which has come from the lab.
Yes. So when we've just done our inspections,
yes,
and we've checked on those 4 parameters, then we have found that there are failures, and the failures lean towards health and safety, then we arrive at a standard of proof called reasonable cause to believe that these goods are substandard. Okay, so that is a legal, it's a legal standard of proof that inspectors operate with at the time of inspections. Okay, so they have reasonable cause to believe. So they will take samples. They've impounded these goods. They will take samples for testing.
These same seized goods that are available. So now they are going to the lab.
They are going to the lab because the inspector is not the final authority. The final authority is the test report,
which has to go to the lab.
They need a test report for them to make sure that whatever findings they've made are not binding, legally binding. Okay.
So a test report has to
be generated.
Yes.
So a decision will be made to remove those goods or to leave them on site. And one of the things we have established in our procedure, documented in our procedure, is one of the reasons why we may leave those goods on site will be if we don't have immediate means of exfiltrating them, okay, removing them from there.
Yes.
So if we are faced with that situation, in the seizure notification form, we will indicate some instructions telling the outlet owner not to tamper with those goods.
Neither sell,
destroy, all those things.
Yes.
And these are actually contained in the Standards Act.
Yes.
There's a provision that says, if these goods have been left with you, do not tamper with them, and it has listed all the scenarios in which this tampering can be done. Okay?
Yes.
So we will leave you with that instruction, and then we'll tell you, wait for the test reports.
Wait for it.
Yes. If we can remove them from that point, at that particular point, we will not document that. We will just tell you, we will give you further instructions based on the outcome of testing. Because remember, we've just arrived at a professional judgment
with a reasonable
cause to believe. Yes. So samples will be taken for testing.
Yes.
Okay. So what will be done there is, for instance, making sure that these samples are properly labeled, properly documented, and they're documented using a form called a sample collection form. Okay, where all these details are recorded, indicated. Why is the sample collection form important? It is because one of the things that the law requires is under Article 47 of the Constitution is fair administrative action. Okay, so as we are doing these administrative actions, and then administrative actions are these enforcement actions you're talking about.
Yes.
If we are doing these actions,
Mhm.
then we must leave some feedback with the owner of the goods, that this is why we are taking these goods.
And samples have been drawn.
Yes, samples have been drawn, and these are the reasons we've taken these goods.
Mhm.
Okay, so samples will go to the lab,
Mhm.
get tested. There's a certain period within which the lab operates
Yes,
to do the tests,
Mhm.
and then they will issue us with test results.
Mhm.
Now, based on the test results,
Yes.
we will compare these test results with our original findings.
Mhm.
Okay, so if they reinforce our original findings, then a communication will be done now to the outlets where
Yes.
these goods were
Yes.
found,
Mhm.
indicating that testing has now established that if there are failures, that these are the failures that we have found.
Yes.
Okay, these are failures that the lab has found, and now we are now arrive at that beyond reasonable doubt.
Yes.
We now have no doubt whatsoever, because these goods have been tested under laboratory conditions,
A test report
and a
is
test
done.
report has been generated,
Yes.
which is now enforceable in a court of law. Yeah.
Ah,
Yes.
so now that is when now you have received the test report ndio hii
Yes.
imesema kwamba this barbed wire has been checked and found that it doesn't conform to the standards of barbed wire.
Yes.
So now hapa ndio tunaenda kotini, hapa ndio what happens now from here? You
From
have
there,
communicated to the client or
Communicated to the
outlet
client.
owner.
so at that point,
Mhm.
there are further administrative actions or
Yes.
enforcement actions that can be taken
Yes.
based on the severity of the failures.
Yes.
Okay, we can decide to issue a recall instruction.
What is
Okay.
a recall?
A recall instruction,
Yes.
or a recall or withdrawal instruction,
Yes.
is an instruction to the owner of the goods
Yes.
to ensure that these goods are recalled
From the
where they were
market.
supplied. If before we arrived there,
Yes.
we found that you had sold out some of these goods which you've pounded,
Yes.
we will issue instructions to ensure that these goods are recalled from where you sold them to.
How will you know that I supplied this? That's where batch number comes from.
At that particular point in time, the
Yeah.
moment you're doing inspections,
Yes.
there's one aspect which I didn't bring out,
Yes.
that we will request for documentary evidence of the goods which you're stocking.
Aha.
Okay,
Mhm.
and we are very lucky because the recent amendments to the Standards Act
Yes.
have actually made it mandatory for these producers, and by producers I mean the manufacturers and importers,
Yes.
to retain, and the business operators,
Yes.
to retain these documents, okay, the supply documentation,
Yes.
so that we are able to ensure that we can trace these goods as they're moving around in the market. So we will issue you with a recall instruction or a withdrawal instruction,
Yes.
okay, if the risk is severe and
Yes.
the public is being at risk,
Yes.
to bring these goods back from
Where you
where they are,
supply.
yeah,
Mhm.
so that we can impound them and take other actions.
Yes.
Okay, we can also issue a public notice. Okay, because the
Uh-huh.
public has to be informed, aware that there are certain goods circulating in the market that don't meet the requirements of the standard.
So we will do a notice to the public
Yes.
through a press release or a public notice and say this and these products have been found after testing to not conform to the standards.
Yes.
You will do such a notice.
We will do such a notice.
Uh-huh.
This notice, I think there have been a number which have been done in the past.
Yes.
And they will indicate the non-conformity.
Yes.
They will indicate the risk that that non-conformity poses to the consumers,
Mhm.
and they will indicate what actions have been taken to control that risk. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so if manufacturers are being, or rather the producers are being told, you need to remove these products from the market,
Yes.
then the public press notice will also contain that information.
Yes.
And the batches,
Mhm.
the specific batches that we established a non-conformity on.
Okay.
So
So
this information has to be consumed by
the public.
yes, it is
They
public.
have to know
They have to know. They have a right to know.
that batch number this
Batch
of this
number this,
product
yes,
has been found to not conform.
Yes.
And this is the reasons.
Yes.
And this is what we as KEBS has
yes,
done.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
It's that detailed.
It is that detailed.
Uh-huh.
And the whole thing is to make sure that, remember, when the definition of market surveillance,
The activities.
the activities to ensure that the public is not exposed to these health and safety risks.
Uh-huh.
So these activities, one of these activities is now these press releases, public notices, instructions for product recalls.
Yes.
And we can also prosecute.
This is where now we go to court.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
This is now where we go to court.
Yes.
And we are provided for under Section 15 to go to court. We can go to court where we find issues arising from the market. Maybe we have a complaint which has come in.
Yes.
We can actually go to court. And the law, if you look at Section 15, the law actually allows us to even suspend the court to allow to issue orders of suspension of production. It is that severe.
A manufacturer can actually get such that.
Yes, yes.
So sio kutengeneza tu products ati kwa
kutengeneza
sababu
peke yake.
tumekupea mark.
Yes.
The market surveillance process, if they find you that you are non-conformities, depending on the final output of the process, you might be actually finding yourself being prosecuted in a court of law.
Yes.
Because that provision exists in the Standards
It
Act.
exists in the Standards Act.
Please carry on.
Yes. So under Section 15, we have we can move to court even on the mere basis of a complaint.
Yes.
In case we have a complaint on which we need to take action very quickly, we are allowed by law to move to court and suspend, for instance, issue a request for orders to suspend production. Then that is now the process where we are issuing these instructions to the owners of these goods.
Yes.
But remember, we have goods which we have somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have impounded certain goods.
These ones that
were
were seized, then we extracted them.
Yes. So we need to make a decision on them. And one of the decisions which are allowed, which are indicated in the Standards Act, under Section 14 also, is destruction of these goods. So goods which do and which are non-compliant, okay, and which pose a risk to the users. The Standards Act has given the inspectors powers to issue orders of destruction. Okay, so when we are documenting our findings, our letters will normally contain a clause indicating that the goods that were seized and have been established to be non-compliant, okay, in this particular parameter, which has an implication on health and safety, have been condemned for destruction.
Okay.
Okay. And this destruction will happen within certain timelines. Defined by law. Defined by law. Okay.
Amazing.
Certain timelines
everything
defined by law.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything
we
is by
have
law.
to operate within the confines of the law. Okay. So within a certain period, then these orders will become binding. Okay. And the Standards Act has given a 14-day period. Okay. Under Section 11 and also Section 14.
Yes.
There's a 14-day period within which this other party, the owner of the goods, is given a right to appeal in case they're not happy with the process and the findings and the results. Then they are given a 14-day window
to appeal.
Okay. Okay. And the moment they lodge an appeal, then that order of destruction will be stayed. It will be stayed until that appeal is heard and determined, and whatever decision will be made by the tribunal. That is where the Standards Act has directed these appeals to. They will make the tribunal will make a decision on how to proceed. In the event that these 14 days lapse without any reaction, any objection or whatsoever, then that order of destruction becomes binding, and the Bureau will now move towards the process of destruction. Okay, and the process of destruction has its own
procedures as well, which are also defined and guided by law.
Which are also defined in law and procedure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Shake, your field is quite interesting.
I
really didn't know that you not only just need to look at things from the field, there's a test report as well that needs to be accompanied. And you guys are not the police. I think that is, if you didn't have any other takeaway from this conversation, one, you need to remember that KEBS team is not the police. We are there to be your friends. I think we will work with every person, including the complainant. If somebody complains to us.
If somebody complains to us, we are duty bound to ensure that this complaint is investigated to the end.
And we'll give you the
And
complaint report.
we'll give you a result.
Yes.
If it is if it's a sample we picked,
Yes.
we'll give you a letter indicating what we found out.
Yes.
And with those results we're giving you, that feedback we're giving you,
Yes.
you can, if you move to court, we can come in as your witness.
Ah.
Yeah.
So you complain, you find there was a problem,
Yes.
and you can even prosecute that somebody
Yes,
as a
we
civil
can
case.
prosecute. We can prosecute the criminal angle.
Yes.
This other party can pursue a civil angle.
Yes.
We can still come in as the witness.
Witnesses.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That is market surveillance. And when you talk about market surveillance, I don't know if there's anything else that you would want probably to bring on board in the interest of time about market surveillance.
One thing which I probably would want to bring to the attention of maybe the viewers who are watching us
Yes.
is we need to partner, because as you've rightly pointed out, we are not the police. We are not out here to, there's that misconception actually, that Kenya Bureau of Standards inspectors, they actually use brute force to enforce the law.
Yes.
But it is not brute force, okay? We are actually guided by various technical parameters that we look at.
Yes.
And we want to disseminate this information, because some of the checks that we normally do are checks which the public can actually do on their own. Very simple checks.
Let's try and
If,
check
for
one.
example,
Yes.
I'm buying a barbed wire, okay, barbed wire roll.
Yes.
One of the things I can do as a consumer is to check the weight. I just tell the shop owner, can I weigh these rolls and see whether they are complying with what has been indicated on the label? Okay, if it is 20 kilos, just weigh a few and see whether they are meeting that particular weight requirement. So we also want to disseminate this information, and we've been doing a number of awareness activities. Every time we visit these outlets, we interact with you, we teach you, okay? So we don't just barge in with brute force and leave you with nothing. We actually educate you at the end of the day.
That's amazing.
Okay, yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. So now I want to probably show people how to when you're going to buy things in the supermarket, or you're going out there in the market and you want to verify products, Kenya Bureau of Standards has an app that you can use to verify products. So just, if you can take this moment, go to Play Store right now, download the Kenya Bureau of Standards app. And if you go there and download that app, you'll find yourself onto this app. This app will help you verify products. It will help you verify staff who visit your premises and confirm whether or not they're actually supposed to be within those premises, as they say. So if you take an example of a product, sijui kama you have any permit number that we can probably do a check for you, or check for Kenyans as we continue, so that to confirm.
Yeah, I think
Give me
I
one
have
to verify.
a number here. We can look at permit number 41.
Permit number 41. And when he's
Yes.
talking about permit number 41, he's talking about the standardization mark. When you look at a product, utaona logo ya KEBS. Chini yake, there is a number that starts with SM hash. Then a number follows. That is the number. So when he says permit number 41, he's saying SM hash 41.
Yes.
Let's verify that. That is PVC insulated electrical cables, non-armored, and this is a valid permit. And it is manufactured, or rather the brand is called CCL, manufactured by Coast Cables Limited. This is how you verify products in the market.
Yes.
And you can do this for any products when you're going to buy in the supermarkets, in the markets.
Yes.
Any product that is locally made must have a standardization mark, I believe.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And in case you verify and find that this product is not valid, you can be able to make a complaint. And as he talked about here, there's what we consider to be called consumer complaints.
Yes.
Ni haki yako kucomplain. Ni haki yako kupigia Kenya Bureau of Standards kutuambia nimenunua sukari, maziwa na nikapata, in my view, it is substandard. Can you investigate? That is where Shake comes in and the team. So please get onto that app, verify, and if you find a problem, call us. We do have a toll-free line, which is at 1545. Kama unaweza andika mahali, andika 1545. That's the Kenya Bureau of Standards toll-free line. Verify every product that you come across before you even purchase. Call us in case there is any problems, and do not engage with products that are saying invalid and expired.
Yes.
Si ni kweli?
Yes.
Thank you. Do you have anything else you'd like to add, your parting shot?
Well, I think I've enjoyed this this engagement.
Yes.
I hope that this is the start of very many engagements of a similar nature.
True.
Because we want to disseminate a lot of information that we have as market surveillance to the greater public, so they can be able to make informed decisions at the marketplace.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
Thank you so much, Nelly Mulema, for watching. I see you're saying you're a big stakeholder into this project, Kenya Bureau of Standards. So thank you so much. My name is Dennis. This is Ask KEBS. The hashtag will and shall always remain to be Ask KEBS. Keep watching these episodes. They happen twice every month. You'll be seeing these episodes coming your way. We also are behind the scenes in Kenya Bureau of Standards, show you what they do, how they do those things. And in case you have any questions, use any of the platforms, Twitter, Facebook, ukiwa Instagram, tupigie simu 1545 and ask those questions and engage with us. So I'm going to leave you with a very interesting episode of what we do that at the labs. Wakati tunapima vitu pale kama umenunua kitu, how does the test report that you have just talked about get to be actualized and defined it? So thank you so much for watching. This is Ask KEBS. That was all the time we had.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Asante.
My name is Luvonga Caleb. I've been working for Kenya Bureau of Standards since 2004. This is a place I call home. I wake up every morning excited to come to work because I know that I am going to solve a problem for the country. I am going to help the industry to grow. So I started as a laboratory analyst 3 and then grown through the scales at Kenya Bureau of Standards up to where I am right now. I'm the acting manager, organic laboratory. And organic laboratory actually has 3 sections. So the first section is a petroleum laboratory. And then there's a wet chemistry laboratory. We do soaps, we do cosmetic stuff, and then we also have chromatography. So chromatography is where we are right now. This is the laboratory where we look at food preservative, we analyze alcoholic beverages, look at things like pesticide residues, fatty acid, hydrocarbon profile. Actually, one of the things that was stood out for me is the journey of analysis of alcoholic beverages. Prior to 2015, we used to have quite a number of deaths in the country, and that was worrying. What happened is that we went now, I put on my research cap, I went and did a lot of literature review, and then I came across a chemical called dinatonium benzoate. Dinatonium benzoate is a chemical, it's very bitter. In fact, the commercial name is called Bitrex. It is the most bitter chemical known to man. So we discovered that we could actually add dinatonium benzoate to methanol. And why were we adding dinatonium benzoate to methanol? Because in the western part of the country, this is where we have the sugar producing companies. And these sugar producing companies would also prepare ethanol as a byproduct and methanol also as a byproduct. So they would sell ethanol and methanol, which would be carried in tankers to be brought to Nairobi and or to other parts of the country for industrial use and also for use in the production of potable spirits or alcoholic beverages. So there was no clear way of telling the difference between ethanol and methanol just by looking at it. Because even if I gave it to you, there's no clear way of telling that. So the only way you can be able to tell the difference is if you have a gas chromatograph. So at that particular time, the manufacturers of alcoholic beverages did not have gas chromatographs. So what they would do is sometimes they would get ethanol or methanol, thinking that it is ethanol, and then they would go and mix with water in the right proportions and probably put flavors and whatever, and then they would present it to clients as an alcoholic beverage. And you know, when you're taking alcohol, it is usually ethanol in water, not methanol in water. So when they give the clients the alcoholic beverage, it's actually methanol in water. So this is what was causing blindness, and this is what was causing deaths amongst the consumers. So in that particular case, so we identified methanol as the problem. We had to find a way of making methanol inaccessible, or even if it's used intentionally or unintentionally, the consumer would not be able to drink it. So we decided to to denature it. We decided to denature it using that chemical, denatonium benzoate, which is extremely bitter. Even if it's given, the denatured methanol is accidentally available, and you try to make an alcoholic beverage out of it, you cannot actually swallow it. So that was a deterrent to ensure that nobody uses methanol in a production of alcoholic beverage. I would like to tell all the customers or stakeholders that Kenya Bureau of Standards is doing everything it can to ensure that the products that are put in the market are safe for human consumption. My name is Luvonga Caleb, and I'm proudly KEBS.